If you've been following me, you know that I'm trying to get my ARCs under control. So let's just do a little check-in as to where I'm at. These are all of my September physical ARCs. Yeah. If you guys have been following my ARCpocalypse issue here, I started off a few months ago with 42 NetGalley ARCs, and it was pretty bad. It was bad. I had 42 NetGalley ARCs. One was due September of 2024, so I had several past due ones that were sprinkled throughout the past year, and a bunch that were coming up that I was just drowning in. And I said, you know what? You requested these. You created this mess. Get it fixed. And it was very motivating for me to finally just decide I was going to handle this. And I am proud to say that I am now down to 25 NetGalley ARCs, which sounds crazy, but for me and how much I read is totally doable. By the end of September, I am hoping to be below 15 NetGalley ARCs, and I have a plan, and it's going to happen. I currently have 2 technically outstanding NetGalley ARCs. The first one I have is an e-ARC via obviously NetGalley and through Titan Books, and it is Red Tempest Brother by H.M. Long. It is the closing to the Winter Seas trilogy, and I am honestly just waiting till I have a little bit of a break so I don't get behind on anything else before squeezing this in. It's probably going to happen within the next week or 2 that I'll read this, and I also want to annotate, so I want to have a little bit of time because I've annotated my other 2 books. So this will get handled very quickly. The other one that I have past due is Breathe In, Bleed Out by Brian McCauley. This is a horror novel that is a like 70s 80s slasher vibe, and it simply came out on September 2nd, and I'm currently in the middle of the audiobook, so I'm reading this right now, and it's 1 day past due, so I'm as caught up as I possibly can be right now. This is really the only one I'm considering past due, even though the other one is 1 day late at this point. It's only a 4-hour audiobook, the way I read by audiobook, so I should finish it today or tomorrow depending on how much time I have to read. So let's talk about all the other NetGalley ARCs I currently have out, as well as the physical ARCs that I need to get through, and let's talk about the plan. So I have a very simple system to keep track of my NetGalley ARCs and and physical ARCs or whatever, and having that is detrimental to me actually getting them read. I need to see them laid out on paper. And this is my NetGalley ARCs here, or priority ARCs, however you want to say it. This is September, and this is everything I have to read to be on track for September. So up next is going to be You Weren't Meant to Be Human by Andrew Joseph White. I will probably start this tomorrow and have it read before the 9th, so I can continue to be on track, as well as finish my audiobook that I'm currently listening to. Hopelessly T-voted, I am definitely going to be buddy reading with my friend Elise. I will tag her. She does great book and movie content. Please go give her a follow. She's fantastic. But we're going to read this at some point, unless she's already gone on without me, which is totally fine because I have been buried in other ARCs. But it looks like to be a cute, cozy little rom-com for the fall, and who can't tear through one of those in a hurry? You know what I mean? That's really easy reads usually, and I'm excited to read it because it sounds super cute. Beyond that, I plan to prioritize the rest of the books on the list by prioritizing the ones I have audiobooks for first. So Everything She Ever Knew, The Mean Ones, what else is on there? The Second Death of Locke. I have audiobooks for those 3, so I'll probably knock those 3 out because audiobooks are faster for me to listen to than to sit and watch and read a book. I'll probably do part physical, part audiobook, and get those off of my list so that the other ones that I do not have audiobooks of that require me to sit and be still to read, I can focus on those next. But I know what you're saying. Carly, you were holding way more books that didn't seem to be on this list. I know. I have physical ARCs from publishers that I want to try and get read as well. Berkeley was kind enough to send me 3 fall-themed rom-coms. We have a excellent chance at Falling in Love by Anne Rose. We have Ghost Business by Jen DeLuca, and we have Road Trip with the Vampire by Jenna Levine. But I do have audiobook copies of all of these through the Penguin Random House Audiobook Influencer Club, so I will probably read these mostly by audiobook and report back on how I liked them. I will probably read Ghost Business first because it is what is due first. I also have an art copy from Tor of Delidus is Dead by Seamus Sullivan. I really think this will be an easy read. It's a short little novella. It's 160 pages long, and it sounds really, really interesting. It describes itself as a sci-fi that follows themes of masculinity and fatherhood, and it just sounds really interesting. So I will probably read this, as well as to break up some of the more fall rom-com-y type reads that I have as ARCs. I also got a really pretty PR box. I will tag the video with the PR box in the caption if you want to watch that to see what I got. But I got a PR box with an arc of Spellcaster by Jamin Eve. This came from Mira Reads, and I'm really excited to read this. I do also have an audiobook arc through the Libro FM audiobook influencer group, so I will probably do a tandem on this as well. I always try to prioritize people that send me books and PR boxes in my reading because I'm so grateful, so I'm hoping to get to this as well. If I don't get to it on time, I'm still gonna get to it. The other book I am absolutely going to get to and prioritize is Orange Wine by Esperanza Hope Snyder. This is by a Latinx author, and if you didn't know, you should. September 15th starts Latinx Heritage Month, so obviously I will be reading this arc and reporting back on how wonderful it hopefully is. But I'm excited to read this, and I will be adding more Latinx authors to my reading this month, so I have a full plate. Let's talk about a few arcs that I might not get to this month and why. A Killer Wedding by Joan O'Leary. There is no real big reason why I am not prioritizing this book forward like the other ones, other than the fact that the premise doesn't exactly excite me. It's about wedding photography and things of that nature, not something that I'm normally a big fan of. Not that I don't like it, it's just not something I gravitate towards. So I will get to this at some point, it just will be behind everything else. And the other book that I unfortunately am not going to prioritize is By the Horns by Ruby Dixon, because I want to read the first book, Bull Moon Rising, first. So I have to read a book to get to this book, although I know they are interconnected standalones and technically I can read this. I just might get a few spoilers for the first book. I don't want spoilers for the first book, so I want to read the first book first and then this one, and that's why this one might not make it into this month, simply because I want to read the other book first. The last book I want to talk about, this is a high priority for me. We Love You Bunny by Mona Awad. This is an ARC copy. It is a sequel to Bunny, one of my favorite weird girl lit fics I've ever read in my life. If you know me, you know I love Mona Awad. I've read everything she's written, and I definitely will be getting to this, but I want to do it when I have a little bit of a break between books because I do want to annotate this. All my Mona Awad books are annotated and well loved, and this one is going to be added to that collection. This is one of the most anticipated reads of my year, so God, please don't let me down on this one. I need this to be amazing. And that's where we are with the ARC apocalypse that I have going on over here. I have a plan. Is it a good plan? That remains to be seen. But by the end of September, I should have, at the very minimum, under 15 ARCs on NetGalley. I'm at 91% right now with 25 ARCs out. And I really want to just get under 15. And then eventually my new goal will be to get under 10. I don't think I will ever be at 0 because I love ARC reading too much and I'm addicted to NetGalley too much to be at 0. But I want to get to where it's more manageable, to where I can pick books off my shelves that I want to read, versus having to rely so heavily on reading ARCs. I have not really picked a book off of my physical or Kindle or audiobook TBR in months because I've been working on all these ARCs. So I want that to be more manageable so I can read the books I already own and books that I want to prioritize. Yeah, this was long. I'm sorry, but it was fun. See you in the next one.